Yay! All right, we're on. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny, and as usual, we are here on Real Talk with Jenny. First of all, I'd like to greet all fathers out there a very, very happy Father's Day. And we are so lucky today to have one of the fathers celebrating Father's Day. He is a mindful coach. Um, he is, you know, we met sometime last month or um, 2 months ago. Well, it's basically before this pandemic started. So I was just a quick story on how um, I met this guy together with another wonderful lady. So it's my kids and I just walking by in Ayala Triangle, and we saw this mindfulness event going on, and it's kind of intriguing. And everyone I saw many out there were listening and they're um, trying to meditate. So I got curious, and then well, it's funny. My kids initially um, didn't want to stay. So what are they doing and all that. But as the minutes, hours come by, I'm very, very interested. And this is how I met our guest speaker this morning. It was Teacher Sunshine, who's also uh, teaching mindfulness that I first met. And then she introduced me to our guest speaker, who is none other than Mr. Chris. And how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
How are you, Chris?
Good lunchtime. Good morning, Jenny. I'm good. I'm good. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there.
Once again, I'd like to thank you for accepting my invitation to be my guest this Sunday. Ayan. Guys, bear with me. I'm, you know, ang internet connection ko ay hindi ko alam kung kailan maaayos. Yeah, I've been lagging for a few weeks na. But anyway, sabi nga nila hindi natin hahayaan yung mga ganung bagay to hinder us on the things that we want to do. Yeah. Because I don't know if I mentioned to you how I started this one. So, ayun. I just started this one because some of my friends were asking questions to me um, at some issues. Yan.
Mhm.
I'm a woman advocate kasi. Yan. So, may mga pinagdaanan. But
Cool.
then,
Cool.
sabi ko, hindi ako expert. I'm not an expert in any way. So sabi ko, why not try? Why not try linking an expert um, so we can talk about issues that are ongoing at the moment, especially ngayong pandemic.
True.
Diba?
It's a good
So it's
opportunity.
really a good time to talk about many things. Ayan. And I'm so full to all our viewers. Ayan. So for my friends, family, yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback. So maraming salamat po. I'm so happy na may natututunan po kayo sa bawat episode. And so today we are going to talk about ang daldal ko, no? We're going to talk about addiction.
Addiction.
I know, ito yung mga naririnig ko lately, parang yung partner nila, yung husband nila, or yung kids nila,
Nila. Sila din.
nila, well, my kids as well, ayan. Medyo nauhook na yan sa gadget. Hindi kasi yung iba, yung mga, a lot of mobile games, ayan. Sabi ko, okay, okay. Ano ba? Addiction na ba yun pag sobrang ilang hours mo na siya ginagawa in a day? when does it become an addiction? So ayan, yung mga ganung bagay. Although I know it's not only that. Yeah, when we talk
Uh-huh.
about addiction, marami iba-iba din yan. I think one of which is yan drugs.
Mhm.
Although a few people said na rampant pa rin, lalo na ngayong pandemic. But you are here to share your thoughts and to enlighten us kung ano nga bang nangyayari sa paligid-ligid.
Sige.
So, take it away, Chris.
Okay. So thanks, Jenny, for having me here. Is my audio okay?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay.
Guys, let me know. Are you able to hear Chris well? Just comment down below
All right.
if not.
So yeah, thank you for having me here, Jenny. It's I call it a blessing whenever I talk about, well, I'm given the opportunity to share, of course, with my practice of mindfulness and some of the know-how I know about addiction. Um, Let me tell you a little bit something about myself. For the most part, I'm a mindfulness coach. I teach or share the practice of mindfulness to kids and teens, as well as adults. With adults, it's more of we do retreats. Me and my partner, Sunshine Carino, we do retreats. Mostly it'll be, spirituality, uh, mindfulness infused with spirituality. We do, like, I'm a club moderator of the Chillax Mindfulness Club at a certain school. So we teach or we share with grades 5 and 6 boys. And yeah, part of my advocacy actually is addiction. Needless to say, I came from that. And coming from that, it's given me a new purpose in life. It's made me change myself. Start this second chance in life to learn more. Actually, about myself first, and then eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to helping others as well. Yeah, it's a good topic that you have, Jenny, about addiction. But let's see. Let's start with what's happening in society. There's a lot of things happening. Of course, there's Tokhang, a lot of current events. There's the social media, which we will be tackling. Social media, it's a lot of projection about false self and perhaps maybe grandiosity. Our society also has, we have been more akin to mental health awareness.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to sway away from depression. I have depression. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. We're trying to hopefully we are able to sway away from that as an expression, labeling ourselves as that. And then recently we've had a lot of natural disasters, wildfires, Taal, erupting, and now this COVID pandemic. We don't know if it's man-made or not. I even had a close cousin of mine pass away because he was a frontliner. And it's a very challenging year, not only for adults but of course for kids as well, which is why we are focused with mindfulness is with kids and teens because they are easily affected, or it's one of the sensitive groups that we have to address. So yeah, and all of these things happening, it may lead to confusion, definitely a lot of confusion, what's going on with the world. It may lead to emptiness, perhaps lack of meaning and purpose. And I'd like to put this in also. It's it may lead to spiritual bankruptcy. And actually, one of the facets of addiction is one of the effects of addiction is that it leads to spiritual bankruptcy. So, what is addiction? So, I'm gonna just run you through a little bit of what I know. Of what I know.
But yeah, but Chris, I do agree with you. This time, it's very common, how people are experiencing depression, anxiety. I think I went through, yeah, the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, it's a never-ending journey, siguro,
Yeah, yeah.
regardless of what we're going through in our personal lives. Pero talagang itong pandemic, dadaanan at dadaanan mo yan, no doubt.
Oo, walang takas to
Yeah,
eh.
kasi diba, we're stuck at home, watching the news.
Yeah,
Ayan eh,
watch.
wala. But I just want to say that, we just have to stand up, and lift up our own spirit. I mean, yun ang unang-una na dapat gawin I mean, of course we can get help from everywhere, pero diba, we should help ourselves too.
Yes, yes. There is hope. Actually, there is hope. It may make the pandemic may lead to more challenges of how we're going through, but it's a one day at a time thing. And yeah, there is hope. There is hope.
So you were saying you wanted to define addiction.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about addiction. We're gonna touch a little bit on that because some people may be concerned about their kids or like you said their husbands or maybe themselves that they are falling into these gadgets. um, there are different kinds of addiction actually. Of course, the more obvious one is substance abuse. Next would be gambling. There's pornography. There's food. There's shopping addiction. Recently, medyo nagkaroon ako ng shopping addiction online eh. Sabi yun, parang naging
Talaga?
unhealthy coping ko na, okay, I need to spend, and I don't call it an addiction, but it was a phase. It was a phase.
Pero dun
So
naman, diba? Months.
what was that, Jenny? But yeah, I'm trying to acknowledge that, but it hasn't
And
ruined
then
ruined my,
realizing, oh, ko pala
yeah.
kailangan itong mga binili. Pero
Yeah,
stale.
yeah.
Kasi,
So it hasn't ruined my life yet. Anyways, so there's plastic surgery, especially there's risky behavior addiction, and of course the emerging internet, gadget, and video game addiction. So just to let you know what the full spectrum. Well, it's not the full, but a spectrum of the addiction. So, what is addiction? It's the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. Diba? So, like I mentioned kanina, they may fall into the category of substance, thing, or any activity. Kasi minsan, diba, our fixation with video games or our gadgets. Um, there's two types. So, I'm gonna.
actually, I heard na yung iba na they were really complaining yung partner nila or yung son nila. It's like 100 times na nilang tinawag. Talaga,
But yeah, it's well, this is one thing though about when you say addiction. Uh I want to stress this. So let's not self-diagnose. Let's not jump into conclusions that if a person is on his phone for this certain time, he's already addicted, or there's an addiction already. So that's what I want to make clear. That's what I want to make clear. Maybe.
but perhaps, Chris, um, you can let us, you can tell us when does it become an addiction? So ano ba yung mga criteria before yung fondness mo, yung liking mo into doing something or something, playing with something suddenly becomes an addiction na. But before you answer that,
Okay.
medyo dumadami people watching us. I'd like to i-greet naman muna natin sila. So, hi Archie. Sabi ni Archie, I can help you, ma'am, in your internet connection. PM lang. Oh, yeah. Sige, i-PM talaga. Very fixated internet connection ko.
O, di ba ang daming
Kuya
helpful
Paolo,
ngayon?
thanks for watching. And hello, and Tito Joe, hello po. Hi, Jen. So he's watching from Maple Grove, Minnesota, USA. Ayan. Thank you po. And then Floor. Hello, Floor. Thank you guys for watching. Guys, if you have any questions, just please type it in and Coach Chris will be happy to answer it for us. Hi, also June. Yeah. Hi from are you in Singapore or Hong Kong? Yeah. Please keep safe, guys. Please keep safe. And thank you for watching. Yes, Coach Chris.
Yes. Dami mong fans may tumutulong pa sa internet. Okay yan. It's part of,
Opo,
you know,
friends, friends and
that's part of, you know, the good that this pandemic is, you know, it's a new normal, new mindful normal, helping people out, you know. So yeah, addiction in simplest terms. So I just want to stress that out again, not because there is a strong, you know, someone is on the gadget or is buying, or of course when you use drugs, you know, please stay away from that. I know it's easy to say, but you know, um so yeah, let's not self-diagnose. There are pointers, especially when it comes to, you know, when we seek help with psychiatrists and psychologists. Yeah, I just want to say, you know, let's not jump into conclusions, but addiction, actually, put it simply, is the obsession of thinking about the substance or the thing, activity, and the compulsion to continue doing so despite adverse effects. So these adverse effects would be, you know, running out of, I'll put it in layman's terms, running out of money, losing a job, you know, it's disrupting relationships. So when I say adverse, you know, it's something that you can talk about, because the person who is addicted is just solely focused on whatever thing, activity, or substance that he is hooked on. So siguro, just to let the viewers know, if your partner is, you know, he's on the phone, or your kids are on the phone, you know, it just might be a, what I would call, maybe too much of an unhealthy coping mechanism. But it doesn't mean that it's already it's already addiction. So yun.
ano po ba yung mga red flags natin? I mean,
Kasi when it comes
I
to,
know naman, I mean, as you said, we shouldn't really jump to conclusion that it's already an addiction. But at
Mhm,
least perhaps at a certain stage,
mhm,
when do we say, "Uy, wait, parang sobra-sobra na to. We have to talk." Do something like that. So, I mean, you talk to
uh-huh.
your kids, partner, your friend, or yeah, it's like, huh, you're only spending like 1/4 of the day with me, and all throughout the hours already on your gadget, or you're already on that thing that you're doing. So parang
Uh-huh.
when do you when ano yung parang red flag? Ano yung signals na hey wait, I think you might be
You might be
become
addicted already.
overboard with what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what? When it comes to addiction, kasi it's important that we we have an attitude of prevention instead of, you know, being going into intervention. Prevention. So it's as simply as saying, if it's already a concern, you know, let's keep our communication lines open. Let's, you know, remind them, maybe do it with kindness, with gentleness, you know, a little mindful approach, that hey, this is a little bit of concern to me right now, that, for example, chores aren't being done, or, you know, our relationship is kind of being rocked because there's, you know, you're on your gadget too much. It's like you know. So at least there, if there is already a concern, we should go into communication or dialogue, healthy dialogue, immediately with, especially with their kids. Kasi ang nangyayari with kids right now, you know, parents are, let's say, busy working from home, trying to do their best, and our tendency, well, my tendency as a parent, I'm not saying everyone, okay, I'm sharing my experience, is that when I'm busy, I have, here's the iPad, here's my phone, here's my,
Yeah.
diba? So it becomes an unhealthy reward system. It's not it's wiring their brains. It's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. We always have to have a routine, or have time for our partners, for our kids especially.
Actually, Coach Chris, ang tawag na nila ngayon dun is yung digital yaya.
Yeah, yun.
Tama ba?
Tama. Kasi wala rin si Yaya,
Diba?
hindi makapasok
Kasi,
eh.
ano stop asking for this and that pagka you give them, the gadget.
Yeah, yeah. And it becomes their way of manipulation, or also that they will bicker you, mama, 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 for you to give that, and you will just give that. So it's, there's an unhealthy routine or system that's happening.
Coach Chris, just a quick question.
Yeah.
'Cause I know earlier we mentioned that, communication is very essential. We need to talk about it when parang things are going overboard na parang, oy, sobra ka na dyan sa paglalaro mo ng Mobile Legends, di ba? Muna ako pinapansin. But you, di ba, there's a certain behavior that comes out from a person who's already addicted to doing something, or doing something, or using something, or I don't know which one. I mean, whatever that addiction is, diba? Their behavior also changes. So even though we try to reach out and communicate with them, there's also parang a defense mechanism of communicating with the other person.
Yeah, especially when, let's say, they fall into the category of addiction already, they would be irritable, they might, end up hurting, or even leaving the house, putting themselves at risk with the pandemic, with a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's really really bothering, and that's what we don't want to happen. Kumbaga,
Yes.
makita pa lang natin yung signal number one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how we can already prevent it to happen. I mean,
Yes.
I know, as you said, we are not claiming to be experts sa pag sinabi mo ng addiction and all that. You
Yes.
really need to talk to a psychiatrist or something like that, right? But
Yes.
at the moment, what we just wanted to talk about is like what's happening around us, like in the house or
Mm-hmm.
with our friends. That to be able not to reach that point na yung tipong sobrang malala niya. Kasi sometimes we just tend to ignore yung nasa signal number one, signal number two
Yes.
pa. Hanggang pagka
Yes.
dumating na sa signal number three, lumalan. So, di ba? And that parang somehow, ayun na siya, really, really addicted to doing that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do it because hindi ko siya napagtuunan ng pansin, or I didn't look at this checklist 1, 2, 3, 4 kung he's about to turn um his I mean the turning point is almost there na magiging sobrang addicted na siya in doing that.
Yeah, it's good to inform. It's good to inform ourselves, like what I said kanina, pag may concern na nga, it's, there's a lot of resources out there. And I know there's a lot of helplines too when it comes to that. But what's important is reaching out to that person. Ika nga, Jenny. We don't want it to reach a point where, it disrupts his or her life, where some defects of character are formed, that it becomes abusive, or those kinds of behaviors that we don't want. Kasi I've with with addiction, with the centers I've been working with, there have been cases where he's in because of, not because of drugs, maybe because of alcohol, maybe because of video games, where because it hardwires our brains when we become addicted, that that's the only thing that we want. It's like drugs. The only thing, when I was still in active addiction, I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't even care if I ate or not, as long as I had my drugs. And that that causes a lot of things in my brain, chemical imbalances. Um, so I guess right now, if you are still talking to that person, you are still in an interaction, and it's already a concern, look it up. There's a lot of helplines. Talk it with someone. Maybe you could refer that person. Just be informed as well, especially with us that uy, may nangyayari na, may nangyayari na, di ba? It's the awareness that's important, not only of course, the awareness wouldn't come from that person, but it can be our duty to, let the inform this person of whatever's happening, whatever changes, and while it's early, actually. So yun, Jenny.
Let's just meet a few friends.
Sure.
Hi, Tita Bunny. Tita Joe, thank you for sharing the live. Yeah. Share this live to Chicago, California, Hawaii, and New York. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. And Tita Celia. Um, the way I see it is that people people started with fondness, di ba? Like lang yan eh. Nagustuhan lang nung
Yan, yes.
is there something like an underlying thing that goes there? Kasi you find comfort in doing this. You find comfort using substance or
Gadgets, drugs, yeah.
drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
So you find comfort there other than other things. So there
Yeah.
must be something.
Yes.
Let's talk
So
a bit more.
yeah. So I'm gonna it would be nice to, well, if I may, I'm gonna talk about, my own experience with my addiction. um there were, let's say, there were a lot of insecurities. Growing up, I was a shy kid. There were maybe resentments, peer pressure, and until I found myself into using, and it gave me a false sense of identity where, uy, parang mas okay ako. Uy, namamask yung insecurity ko, hindi ako mahihayin, and until it becomes my own lifestyle, na that false identity is who I live up to, diba? And honestly, I've done things that I lived on the streets kasi sa states ako nagloko. I lived on the streets, I lived in a tent, I lived in the car, uh, you know, and I did a lot of things like the stealing, the hurting people, and it wasn't until I found recovery where I, in a way, got to know myself again. Past hurts, of course, they are there, but yeah, there's a lot of underlying things. And actually, Jenny, when it comes to addiction, about, I don't want to generalize, but there are people that can handle it. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that, I can't. Why doesn't everyone become addicted to, let's say, to drugs? I'm gonna put a little bit of science into this. It's because between 40 and 60% of a person's vulnerability is genetics, so it's passed on. Um, we had I going to school, we had this process of doing the genogram, and I would see from, let's say, my mother's side that there was a strong addiction gene there. There was alcoholism, there was gambling. So 40%, 40 to 60% comes from genes. The other percent, it may come from experiences in life, trauma, uh, environment. Those are the factors to consider. So yeah, not everyone gets addicted. Oh, Jenny, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Guys, please bear with me. So you did, yeah. That's why I'm reconfirming what I heard. So is that right? What you said was 40% of it comes from genes, genetics.
Yes, 40 to 60%.
Did you mean that someone in the family experienced the same thing?
Yep. Like I said, drugs are came in what 70s, 80s. If I look at my genogram, or it's like a more detailed family tree. You know, my uncle was an alcoholic. Um, my grandfather or grandmother. There was some other. Uh, it came out differently. It came out differently. There was, let's say, pambababae, alcoholism, cigarillo, and it drove them. In a way, it was passed on to me, and I'm not justifying that, okay? Because I could have uh, evaded that if perhaps I was given the proper guidance. Maybe my environment, I've probably had trauma as well, so it's a complicated thing. But actually, studies like this is from the World Health Organization. Yes, it gets passed on.
Okay, but of course, if you knew already that it's in the genes, or one of your relatives have been into certain addiction,
Mhm.
there must be something you can do about it, right? I mean, is
Yeah,
it possible?
it's good to have family members informed. Like me, I'm gonna be the informed one in the family that, hey, this might be a problem. Let's do a prevention, or let's do an intervention already. You know, um, that's why when I came to recovery, I wanted to know more about myself. I took courses in addiction counseling. I'm currently in. I'm just if COVID didn't happen, dapat tapos na ako sa sa diploma ko sa family ministry, and those things that I got myself into making myself healthier got me know more about the disease, got me know more about myself, making me look back why everything happened like this. And there's an acceptance to it. There's a kind acceptance to it. At least I'll be the one informed in the family. Kasi like,
Oh,
for example, Jenny, yung alcohol, di ba? That's culturally, it's so normal for us to drink, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, and it doesn't mean that even if it's a legal substance, even if alcohol is legal, it doesn't mean that there's an adverse effect on people, health, mental health, physical health.
Although you said you grew up in the States, so it's you have
Oh
more freedom.
no, I grew up here. I grew up here actually.
Diba mas maluwag sila dyan? Tama
Uh,
ba friends who are in the US?
I can't really say. It really depends on the person how you're gonna insert yourself into
So it's
into
not
the
depending on where.
nah nah. Kasi nung bata pa ako, I grew up here. I finished college here. Tapos doon na lang ako nag-work. Kumbaga dito nung bata pa lang ako, meron na akong risky behavior. Mahilig na ako sa risky behavior eh.
Is
Hindi
that
ka naman,
risky behavior?
it's like drinking too much. It's like, those
Do you
little
find
things.
comfort in being parang ganyan?
May joy may excitement, may adrenaline akong nakukuha.
Well, I think naman at a young age, I mean most men, even ladies or girls, they have a certain stage wherein yung how do you say it? They are the parang the adventurous
The
type. Parang
adventurous.
"Okay, I want to experience this. I want to experience that, diba?
Mm, yeah. Pero yung nakakatawa, Jenny, I was really a good kid. Sakristan pa ako. Gusto ko magpare.
Wala daw yun sa
There were more
Kuya.
adventurous. Yeah, there were more adventurous.
Yeah, siguro nga life journey eh. Parang meron kang kailangan pagdaan. Hindi mo pinagdaanan, wala kang
Tama, tama. Kunyari, bigyan ako ni God ng opportunity, ulitin mo buhay mo. I'd tell him, I'd want to repeat this. I want to feel how I was when a kid, and I want to relive how I hit rock bottom. Kumbaga, kasi it wouldn't, it made me realize, my recovery and addiction made me realize there's more to life, that there's purpose, there's meaning. Experiences actually made me what? Perhaps a better person. I don't know. But I'm living something
But you
where
did mention you were a good kid, di ba? Sa Christian ka pa. How
sabi
come?
na sabi na nanay ko
No,
mabait ako eh.
random question, no? In real talk, talagang parang ano lang yan. Ano ba? Yan, parang real talk. Parang
Yeah.
goes not really like a formal talk, because we want to share our experiences, we want to share what we've gone through, di ba? Yung
Sige.
experience mindfulness coach. Ayan. Di ba? Kasi nagkukwento
Tama.
kayo. Kahit na
Tama.
medyo mahina yung internet ko, I think naririnig ko pa ng konti. And so you said, yeah, you were a good kid. But
Mhm.
you also did mention that you have like insecurities. I know. I mean, there's no one who's perfect naman. Even you are really good kid. Meron ding at some point merong weakness or something like that.
Yeah.
But what made you think? I mean, what made you look into other things if you are, just thinking you're already in that pathway, diba?
Mhm.
Parang going straight.
Hmm.
Suddenly, what were those issues, or what were those problems that may have caused you to go other way?
Um
Walag ako.
you know what? I've always been lost. I really didn't know if I was trying to build a character or something that wasn't me. There were things I wanted to do in life, but of course I didn't pursue them. That caused a little of my that added more to my being lost. Um, yeah, there's you know, I mean, with drugs, kasi I found, it sort of, there was a lot of pains. Actually, my even if I was well provided and everything, and I thank my parents for doing that. It was just me. It was just me. Primarily, my insecurity about myself. That's one of the factors that led me, going deeper into this world. Um, I wanted to be someone else, but I didn't. Really have any guide when I was growing up. I had to figure things out for myself. I was the eldest, and I had to live up to certain expectations of people. Yeah. So that drove me to push myself too much, where it became unhealthy already. And drugs, it gave me that extra boost, but it was an extra boost that almost led me 6 feet under the ground, because I've been to jail already. I've been to rehabs, and I don't want to die, and like I said, being in recovery, there's this saying that uh, hardships didn't sway me away from my higher power or my God, but in fact, finding recovery, it bent me closer to this spirituality, to this purpose, just following God's will. So then that's my real talk right there.
Yes. So you had frustrations,
Yeah.
and there were because you there were things that you wanted to achieve but didn't. I mean, you weren't able to make it. Tama ba? So
I
in that stage, there was no one to talk to. Ganun ba? Or was it you wouldn't want to reach out to someone else at that point?
yeah, I didn't know venues where I could have talked to someone about these. When it came to goals or expectations, I was able to, I got a good job here in the Philippines. I got a good job in the States. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and perhaps I was uninformed that there were people and there were things that I could have reached out to. I could have sought help. But diba, growing up independently, I thought I could figure this out myself out. But it's not like that. Like times are changing. Like even here in the Philippines, where mental health is already a concern. There are disorders right out there. Depression is a disorder, anxiety is a disorder. My disorder, which is if you look it up in books, I had a disorder of addiction. And it was my addiction was alive. Then hihinto ako, tagal ako hihinto, tapos babalik ulit, up to the point where pumutok na I lost my family, I lost everyone. But yeah, if only I knew there were venues or mediums or people out there that could understand me, that would have helped. I didn't know how to seek help.
Before we continue, Chris, I'd just like to greet a few friends. Yeah, Joni, hello. Yeah, thank you for watching. Farah, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, so I understand that was really a struggle, right? And I think one thing that's good right now that I think it's far different is that people are more open to talk about mental health,
Yes, yes,
about addiction. Because
yes,
before, I think the society is, how do you say it? It's very much traditional that are very conventional. How do you say it? Na para bang,
stigma.
oh, when you
Yeah.
talk about addiction, people might stay away from me,
Yes,
might,
there's a stigma.
might
Yeah.
unfriend me.
Yep,
I
yep.
mean, yeah, but it's the reality of life, 'di ba? Merong pinagdadaanan yung tao eh. But yeah, medyo our society before is very judgy. Ayan. Tama
Yeah,
ba? Yeah, apologize. Pero
there's a stigma, Jenny, there's a stigma. Like
yeah,
when back in the day, I remember if I was sad, you don't talk about it. You walk it off. Diba? And it also came with people. I encountered people when I in my younger years when they said I'm depressed, I'm seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and you'd think I would think, ba sira ulo na ata ito, di ba? And it's not like that. It's not like that.
I know the sad thing, right?
Yeah.
That and I think people before would push you to talk to someone else, yung para bang, uy, dun ka sa expert mo kasi. Wherein, eto para sa akin sometimes you just need someone that you can pour your heart out na may makikinig sa'yo. Kasi with that conversation, that simple conversation, merong other thoughts na
Mhm.
pumapasok sa isip, 'di ba? Unlike kung ikaw lang, you're just doing
Yeah.
yourself talk. It's a
Yeah.
different thing because you only listen to yourself and no one else.
Yeah. That's one of the scariest thing about addiction is that I trapped myself in my own mind, and I thought I could do everything, but it came up with a lot of paranoia. But yeah, the good thing nowadays about our culture is that they're opening up to mental health awareness, and there's more empathy with people going through something. It's not something we brush away anymore. At least we are being more informed, we are more being empathetic as Filipinos, you know Everyone's out there, and
Yeah, and
there is help.
yeah. The
Yeah.
I think I don't know, but this is just the way I see it. What's happening at the moment, you know.
Uh,
Somehow I somehow the compassion in each human being lumalabas.
true. True.
But unlike before, it's I think ngayon meron pa ring iba na they're very much into their work, being
Mm.
perfect, fulfilling all the tasks na nandiyan. And ma-miss mo yung isa dun sa task na dapat mo gagawin. Parang, oh my, parang, it's end of the world na. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Very, very much tempted and very much into those things. But yeah, siguro, I believe one thing that's good about this pandemic time is that somehow we realize kung ano ba talaga ang importante. What ano ba yung what or who are those people that really matters to you, diba?
True. True, Jenny. True. And there, it's actually a great opportunity that it's like a reset. It's reset that let's be more compassionate about other people. Let's sit down and listen to other people. It doesn't mean that we don't see someone or a close one. It doesn't mean it stops there. Galing nga eh, like you, what you're doing, Jenny. You're making people informed, and it's not just through live talks, but it's also using the mediums that we have right now in making the difference. Kakatuwa nga, I'm just gonna share a little bit kasi relationship nurturing relationships is very important for us as human beings, and one of the essence of mindfulness is actually nurturing or being able to mindfully listen to someone and at the same time share with someone what you feel or whatever's happening. Kakatuwa nga kasi yung family ko, whenever there's a birthday, we'd go online. Ang lalayo namin sa isa't isa, mag-online birthday party kami. Tapos alam mo yung may mga games pa. It doesn't stop there. Kumbaga, this is one of those opportunities where we could use the technology instead of andun lang tayo sa games natin, where we could use the technology to reach out and to, strengthen relationship. It doesn't need to be face to face, but, at least getting in touch, meron nga ako, I do have a fellowship uh, of recovering addicts. And it didn't stop. We used to have meetings every day just to share. It's like some sort of therapy, and now it hasn't stopped. It opened up more doors kasi accessible online, meetings online. Even sa America, yung fellowship na kasama ko, we're all bonded together. So ang dami ring opportunity for us to relearn stuff and yeah, be more compassionate about other people in our community.
I do believe yan minsan yung distance helps us become closer.
Yeah, yeah,
Also, yeah, the struggle that we're having, I mean, that we are experiencing at the moment, yung pandemic, the thought that um, the person you love, who you are able to see today, may not be there tomorrow. I think, um, it also, how do you call it? Um, became a wake up call
yeah,
for most of us. For yeah, I would like it for all of us, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, so moving forward, it's good to have a routine. It's good to sit down. Let's say we're all in the house, put the gadgets down first. It's good to have a routine where you eat breakfast, put your phones down, come up with things that you know would strengthen the bond of each member of the family. Sige, gamitin pa rin natin yung gadget, di ba? Pero let's do it in a way where my healthy family relationship, my healthy family interaction, di ba? It doesn't need to be solo, 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 di ba? Mahirap talaga yun eh. Di ba? It disrupts relationships. But let's be creative. Let's be creative in these times. Keep communication lines open. I would suggest, if there's mindfulness. It helps with equanimity, silencing the mind. Ang dami kasing anxiety na nangyayari ngayon, di ba? Get some good sleep. Just a lot routine, kumbaga. Hindi lang puro games. Pagising games, kakain games. Let's try to change. Let's try to be creative moving forward with these concerns.
Somehow to beat the early stage of addiction. Parang we go back to basics now. Parang, diba? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and
No,
yeah,
no,
please
no.
do add
No, that's true.
about I mean, through our conversation from the beginning, yeah, I've just realized, kasi what you just shared with us, your story, parang yung nagkulang doon is yung communication in between. You weren't able to reach out
Yeah,
friend
that's
or else. And then parang your addiction, as I said, became your comfort zone. So parang dito ka masaya. Kumbaga siya na yung naging best buddy mo, tama ba?
yes, totoo. But it's not a comfortable
Yeah,
zone.
wherein from if family can reach out to each other, um, really talk what's going on. Somehow, di ba, if it's like an early stage,
Yeah, I
it
should
can
have.
help.
Yeah, I should have been more informed, Jenny. I should have been more informed. But the problem is when you are at that stage already, you don't want to seek help. Like there was a point in
Yeah,
my life where I'm gonna die a drug addict. This is gonna be my life. When my family left me, this is gonna be my
because
life.
you feel that you are a different person.
Yeah, yeah,
Wonder
you
you,
know.
parang do you feel you're a powerful person that I don't care about anyone else, basta I have my best buddy with me. Na parang,
Yeah, it can be that, Jenny. I feel like, or I just slipped into, just that world, that crazy world, because I knew for myself that I couldn't mingle with normal people anymore. Kumbaga. I isolated myself from the real world because I thought, I already felt that I was an unacceptable person. It wasn't normal.
you found yourself different in the beginning, and then parang when you got hooked into drugs, you're indispensable parang.
I may have I may have had those
Sorry,
images.
random thoughts lang talaga ito.
Yeah,
Whatever is in my mind.
go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll affirm you for that. I had those grandiosity in my head that I was indispensable. No one can hurt me. You know what? That's true because my mind was so lamog sa drugs that it wasn't thinking normal anymore. I wasn't scared of being caught by the cops. I wasn't. And it's a yeah. And it leads, I'm not to romanticize, because I definitely don't want to romanticize the use of drugs or how we see it in movies. Yes, it may show or depict pictures of you're in control, you're in power, but in reality, when you're in that world, you're so small that you're digging yourself further into the ground, Jenny. Like, if I share some of the stories, more stories, probably scare people to to not use drugs. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, media, movies, they romanticize a lot in the use of drugs, and it's not that's not even maybe 50% of what's going on.
It's really a not so good picture, of course.
No,
What
no, there's
you really
women.
think us um, trying to, I mean, listening to you, trying to figure out what went wrong. And I know it's not that easy to think, "Hmm." But at least from your story, we're able to, pick out some pieces where, what are those things that are important that at some point we may be missing, na ignore natin, di ba?
Yes,
As
yes.
we said earlier, many times parents are, just so busy. When we go back, we talk about gadgets, so they
Yeah,
they just give the digital yaya to the
yeah,
to the kid,
yeah.
and then the gadget becomes their best buddy. So, oh, etong gadget na to, this gadget has time for me, but mom and dad,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really
yeah.
don't have time.
It may come out.
So,
That's true, Jenny. It may
yeah,
come. It may come out as when they're growing up. I don't want to generalize, but maybe just a thought. You know, if they may grow up like, oh, my parents didn't love me. They just left me with this gadget. Ah, it because addiction. It's not just one thing. Like me, the strongest trigger I had was drugs, but I can always substitute it with something else. It can be like, even if I'm in recovery, I could be addicted to gambling. I could substitute it to unhealthy relationships. I could substitute it for games even. I remember I was so into games before, but yeah, we do have to be more uh aware of things. Ika nga, we have
I'm not
to.
into games, but I'm just trying to see. Siguro, di ba? You get excited the moment you finish that game, and then you level up, level up, level up, level up. So
Yeah,
parang
there's
it gives you a certain feeling, right? Tama ba?
tama, yeah, yeah. There's the adrenaline. There's the adrenaline.
Play. Sabi nga ng mga kids ko, ang boring ko. I don't really play games, pero kasi I know it will consume my time. Di
Yeah,
ba? Pag
yeah,
nasimulan mo na, gusto mo yung next. Yan, all
yeah,
that. So, might as well
yeah,
don't do it.
yeah. And the kids are aware too. The kids are aware because with the kids that we had in our club at this school, they're like, when we teach mindfulness, they're the ones who's really open, and they come to me, Coach Chris. You know what? I'm playing this much. Is that wrong? You know, they're open. They know what's happening. Also, it's not. Let's not discredit them that they're just turning into zombies or anything. They know. They just probably need some guidance, some sort of reminders from parents, older siblings. Yeah, they know if there's something wrong. Also, that's what I experience with our kids in our clubs. They share it openly.
And the fact that they ask you if they are, I mean, if what they're doing is wrong, it means they have that certain awareness that if it's wrong, perhaps should lessen it or not. Because
Exactly.
otherwise, they won't really ask.
Exactly, Jenny. Yeah, don't discredit kids. They're very intuitive. Their mindfulness, their awareness is really strong, especially when they're young, because they're not so distracted by jobs or making money or anything else. Yeah, they are aware. They are aware, and they just need, probably, is this wrong? I'm playing 2 hours. They just need to know what's healthy or unpleasant or unhealthy, actually.
Coach Chris, let me just greet a few friends. So,
Sure.
Hi Zen, for watching. Um, so yeah, we talk about nurturing relationships. That's very very much very very. I know you did mention you were coaching. Is it grade schoolers?
Yes, yes. Grades 5 and 6.
What are the yeah, I just wanted to ask, what are the common problems if they have, um, with regards to, I wouldn't say about family. I mean, in general,
Yeah,
what are the
general.
common issues that they have at this time?
Okay, without breaking their anonymity,
Yes,
because
of course.
I
Yes,
don't want them
in
to watch
general.
this and
I mean,
say, "Oh,
I
Coach
know
Chris is."
you've been coaching for quite some time already. For
Yeah.
those issues, kung merong top five or top three, what are
Mhm.
the common issues nowadays ng mga kids, as you said, 5 and 6?
Yeah, and
Any of them?
these are boys. These are boys too, Jenny.
Yes.
First is relationship with others, friends. Sometimes it's hard for them to make friends. You know, the issues of bullying. Second is, yeah, video games. You know, they are very, whenever we talk about video games, too much video games, they're very focused. You know, they even ask, is it wrong to accept this person because she says she's something older, and and we make them aware that, hey, you got to be careful. Not everyone who's asking you or doing a friend request, you don't know that person. You got to set your boundaries. Of course, there are family things that they don't understand. Maybe those three. It's relationship with peers, video games, definitely. They want to learn. They're really okay. So how much time can we really allot? What is healthy? How much time is healthy? And third, it's, yeah, the family interactions. Those are mostly what they bring, or even maybe teachers they don't like. That's the fourth. And stress. You know what? These kids know about stress. Actually, the reason why they join our club, number one, is because of stress. Anger issues, too much homework. And we give them, we share with them the practice of mindfulness, that whenever they need to slow down, meditate, it's there for them anytime.
Um, yeah. So, Coach Chris, so we're saying, I think somehow is it also mindfulness that might have, although I believe you did mention that you went through institutions when you had your addiction to
Mhm.
substance, right? Like, did mindfulness help you in a way to um, continuously surpass that stage?
Yeah, yeah. Aside from this program that I practice, mindfulness helps me, be more gentle about myself, to be more kind to myself, to care for myself, because it's so easy for me to ruminate on the past, on everything that I've lost, and that, too much ruminating, that leads to depression. With mindfulness, it curves that. It makes me more aware of my present. It makes me more grateful of my moments right now, being in this second part, second chance in life. I'm not saying that these would be the effects that you people would have if they do mindfulness, but I'm sharing how it helps me cope, maybe with everyday challenges. um, Maybe I'd like to mention also, Jenny, addiction. My disorder, it's like asthma, it's like diabetes. You can only abate it. It'll forever be there. But with
But
medicine,
you say it's going to be forever there?
yeah, yeah, it's just there. It's just lying there. Every day it's there. It's like asthma. It's just in recession, or diabetes, and then you take medicine to keep it. With me, I need to take care of my recovery every day. I'm not saying that I'm free of cravings, yung mga giyang. It's always there. I even dream of it. I even wake up and I'm like sweating and like, oh, why did I dream that? It's always been there. It's already and for me to take care of myself, to for me to curb these unpleasant thoughts, for me to curb my cravings, and move forward with the challenges. Mindfulness helps me a lot with these practices, and I've been reading books on people who have found mindfulness also when they were incarcerated in jail. And those are my affirmations that, yeah, okay, I'm doing something good, all right. And of course, um it's just a suggestion. I'm not saying it's perfect. Of course, we also need to talk to shrinks, psychs. We may need to take our meds, but it's one of the tools I use in taking on life, having cultivating positive emotions. That it's okay not to be okay sometimes, for me to put boundaries upon myself when I know it's unhealthy, you know. That's why we share it with kids, because they're the most vulnerable part of society, And where I have a club, actually, it's where I went to school. So, it's a nice giving back to those kids, because I went through that too when I was younger.
I was just about to ask you on how mindfulness helps you. I just remember yesterday when you had this free session and I had my boys watching and listening, and I really like the idea. I was just watching at the back. It was just my kids really focused on watching you and Teacher Sunshine yesterday afternoon. I just love the idea and how you guys are trying to make the kids understand the different emotions. Because I believe growing up, we're just about to cry. Mom or dad would say, "Umigil ka dyan, wag ka umiyak." Diba? I mean, and things
Totoo.
change, times change. Yeah, kaya sabi ko nga earlier, I like what's happening at the moment because things are changing. People really are trying to imbibe compassion. So things like that. But I
Yeah,
know there's more. There's more into mindfulness.
yeah,
That's why you
yeah.
are. That's why that tool is really helpful for you.
Yeah, it's a kind practice. Naalala ko tuloy, Jenny, yung ano, 'di ba yung paiyak ka na? Ako. Paiyak na ako eh, paiyak na ako. Tapos sasabihin ng, kunyari, kung sino man, magulang ko, oh, iyak ka. Tapos papaluin ka pa, di syempre, iyak ka na.
Exactly.
Ay, nako.
Diba, the ways before are very much different from the ways now.
Yeah,
But now it's okay.
yeah,
Kasi before you cannot move around, play around, di ba?
yeah.
Kailangan, pag sumutsot na ganun, behave ka na. Or else you're dead.
I know. Yung mga, wag kang magulang lang, alak lang kita. Yeah, yung mga ganyang mga
Mind
distortion.
you naman ngayon, kahit nakasigaw ka na minsan, nakasutot ka na ng mga 20 times, ka magagawa eh.
Ay, nako. But yeah, it's our role too. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I believe, relationship and the way we are handling relationships now is far different from before. But I'm not
yeah,
saying before is really, really bad because somehow kailangan din meron tayong konting ano ba yun,
yeah, may
iron
konting
hand.
may konti
Pagka
rin.
strict, sometimes kailangan lumabas din.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd
I
like
think parents
yeah.
are more lenient.
I'd like to think it this way, Ren Jenny. I'd like to think it this way. Um our parents were brought up by their parents, and they were
Okay. kayo nawala? Hindi na po kita marinig. Ayan guys, parang I don't know if it's me. Yeah, I don't know if it's me or Coach Chris. We'll be back soon. Meanwhile, I'd like to greet Elaine. Elaine, thank you for watching. Yeah, so we do have Coach Chris from mindful.ph. Yeah, so he was talking about addiction. And yeah, I really, really wanted to thank him for sharing his story with us. Nawala si Coach. That will be back. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you do have any questions, just please feel free to type it in. I know addiction is big um, a big topic to discuss. But yeah, as we said earlier, there are really different types of addiction. Ayan, sabi nga ni Coach Chris, sabi niya parang ayun, na-addict siya sa pag-shop online lately. And then also, I hear people complaining about their partners or kids always on the gadget, playing all those mobile games, Mobile Legends. Ano pa ba yung mga yun? Clash of the Clans, yun ba yun? Yan, hindi po kasi ako mahilig maglaro ng mga games. Yeah, but yeah, and even gadgets, right? So, and we did ask him when it becomes an addiction. So he did also mention that the best thing is for talk to an expert or someone who's in the psychiatric field. Ayan. So and yeah, so what we're talking about now is basically um, those simple ways that we can do while we are at home or perhaps while we haven't I mean those people experiencing this fondness like hobby kumbaga nagsisimula nandun pa lang sa early stage. And kung paano pa natin ma-prevent or maaagapan from going overboard. All right, Coach Chris, welcome
Sorry,
back.
sorry Jenny, nawala yung internet ko.
Yan, akala ko nga po ako na yung nawala. Ay, but we can do it. Ayan.
So yun. So, I guess na-cap off mo na.
Yeah, so we just did yeah, a little recap of we've talked about earlier.
Thanks,
Coach
Jenny.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm here. Saan ba ako naputol? Doon yata sa magulang eh, no?
Yeah, so we talk about how you were saying that our parents were brought up their parents kumbaga yung different way. We were
Yeah.
talking we said that the parents now are more lenient
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. So yeah, if we grew up in a very strict family where communication, it's very hush hush, and we have that choice to change it. Times are changing, basically. So yun. So yeah, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Coach Chris. Perhaps you would like to invite um, our viewers. I know you have this club wherein you are teaching mindfulness to kids, grade
Yes.
levels, and but it's is this only for particular school or is it open for everyone?
Yeah.
Open and definitely
Yeah.
club is
Uh,
open.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's a club that's it's exclusive for those boys. But we've already, but like I mentioned earlier, we get invited by different organizations. We do retreats in Senecal, and we do retreats, by anyone that needs. But now with what's happening, we've opened up the venue of doing online workshops. So right now we are doing our chillax mindfulness workshops uh, every week, and it's for kids 4 to 7 years old, 8 to 12, and 13 above. So teens. So it's kinder kids, it's kids and teens, and it has been getting a lot of good feedback. And we will be starting to offer to adults as well. And we have some workshops on effective communication, mindful listening. Um, so yeah, if you want to give mindfulness a try, please don't hesitate to visit our Facebook page. It's called mindful.ph, mindful.ph, and that's on Facebook. We have all the information there. Hi, Savior. Is that Savior or MC?
Perhaps,
So
Coach Chris, you can just mention a few feedbacks. I mean, at the certain point, uh, from those kids who entered in the beginning, how did they come out after, like, a better relationship, family, things like that?
yeah, I'm gonna quote some of the feedback we've been getting from parents. They say, "Thank you, Coach and Teacher Sunshine. I've noticed my kids have been more calm." This is a feedback from one of the kids that has been, attending. He says he never gets bored. Some of the other feedbacks is that, well, you can check it on our page. We've been recommended. There were so many write-ups already that, this has been a great experience for their kids. They're being more present, they're being more aware, and to see kids actually meditate, at least be comfortable with this silence, be comfortable with what they're feeling and their emotions, and being okay cultivating positive emotions. That in itself is like, hey, I think we're doing a good job. So please don't, find us on our Facebook page, on Facebook. Our page is mindful.ph, mindful.ph. You could find probably some of the write-ups there. I don't want to
Thank
I
you,
don't want
Coach
to
Chris.
carry my
I
boat.
do believe mindfulness has already been part of a curriculum at some schools in the US, but here
Yes.
in the Philippines yet, right? But we hope
Yes.
that somehow they also think about adding that in our
Yeah.
curriculum.
Yeah. And we treat it in a way where, it's not homework based. We don't want to stress kids out, that's one thing, it's relieving of stress. It's more of practices, and it's their time to take care of themselves. So yeah, hopefully, it promulgates.
And I think it's good that at an early age, if they practice. Yeah, I'm really amazed when I see kids meditating.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
I'm already an adult, and sometimes I'm having difficulties meditating.
Hey, be kind to yourself. It takes practice. Be
Yeah, and
kind to
it's
yourself.
just amazing if you start them young, and if they put this in their habits, so as they grow old, they will be able to have that peace within a certain part of the day, so they will be able to focus more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever they may seem fit to use it. I mean, uh, have peace maybe, or more more awareness, be more creative. Yeah, whatever it may be, because it may arise, a lot of things. It's not just being calm, not just being patient, but the kids would know how they would use it, how they could, maybe it would be a skill building or a tool. And also, it's not just, we aren't limited to kids that enroll. Me and Teacher Sunshine, we do have this advocacy of sharing the practice also with kids at shelters, and we've also been doing some programs to rehabs about sharing mindfulness and how it would help in their daily lives. So yeah, what's important is we're giving back also to the community. It's you know every week we have sessions that we do with kids in shelters in Cavite, in Tagaytay, where we used to visit, but given what's happening, at least with online, we still are able to reach out and give back to the community.
All right. Once again, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Coach
ma'am. Thanks. It
Chris,
was a pleasure, ma'am.
uh, for making us realize what's important. Yeah, and also introducing mindfulness to our viewers today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
You are most welcome. Actually, it's my honor to for you to come on board and share stories. It's not an easy thing to do. And but thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All right.
And thank you for continuing doing this and giving back to society what they need to learn
Yeah, I can only maintain this if I give it back.
so much. And to all our viewers of Hi Ken, welcome back. Hi po Utoy. Ayan. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope that you also learned a lot as the same as myself. Yeah, I've learned from Coach Chris today. And hopefully by next week hindi na tayo lag. And I really appreciate your time and effort watching me kahit na medyo lag tayo. As I said, many things are really beyond our control. Kaya these things are happening, but we just move forward and keep on what we're doing for the best of everyone. Ayan. So with that, I leave everyone. Coach Chris, thank you to all our viewers. Maraming salamat po. Have a wonderful afternoon. To all those friends who are in the US, I don't know what time is it now. So wherever you guys are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you.